Daniel Cormier's truck was stolen right from the San Jose airport while he was in Las Vegas commentating for UFC 317. He shared the news himself on X, expressing his frustration and thanking the San Jose Police Department for responding quickly. Cormier revealed that just last week he had been thinking about switching vehicles. He had been driving Raptors since 2018 and finally decided it was time for something new. So he bought a brand new truck. But here's the heartbreaking part. He only had it for 4 days before it was stolen. After returning from Vegas, he walked up and down the airport parking structure pressing his key fob over and over, expecting to see the lights flash or hear the horn. At first, he thought he might have parked on the wrong level or was just forgetting where he left it. But soon the reality set in. The truck was gone. When he spoke to airport staff, they looked up his license plate and told him his truck had been driven out of the parking structure on Thursday night. Someone stole it straight out of the airport. It's the kind of situation that makes you question how secure airport parking really is. Cormier was clearly upset, but did thank the San Jose PD for handling the situation quickly. 4 days into owning his new truck and it was stolen before he even got a chance to fully enjoy it. Absolutely infuriating. Now moving on to another story that caught people's attention over the weekend. Tom Aspinall gave fans a cool little gift when he posted a behind-the-scenes video from UFC 317. But this was not just your standard walking to the arena kind of footage. It included a conversation he had with Israel Adesanya right there in the crowd. You could see it was an authentic moment between two of the sport's biggest names. This happened right after Jon Jones announced his retirement. It was a huge moment for the sport. Jon stepping away and leaving behind a massive legacy. Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall was stepping up as the new undisputed UFC heavyweight champion. The timing was wild. It felt like a real passing of the torch for the division. Even though they never fought in the clip, you could see the mutual respect on their faces. There was no forced fake sportsmanship, it was real. Izzy told Tom directly that his next win should count as a title defense. For a champion like Adesanya, to say that to you, someone who knows exactly what it means to carry the pressure of defending a belt, that is huge. Tom clearly appreciated it. You could see him nodding, smiling, and soaking in the moment. There was a genuine vibe between them. They were just two elite athletes sharing a moment of understanding that only fighters at that level can really get. There is a certain respect that comes with having stood in that octagon under the brightest lights, dealing with all the pressure, expectations, media, and fans. It is a bond most people will never understand. What is really cool about moments like this is how they cut through all the trash talk. Sure, MMA is known for its hype and heated rivalries. Sometimes it feels like half the sport is guys calling each other out, throwing insults and selling fights with bad blood. That is part of what makes it entertaining. But there is also this other side to MMA, the one where fighters truly respect each other's accomplishments, where they recognize the sacrifice, training, and danger. That is what this conversation captured perfectly. It was not about who is better, who is tougher, or who can sell more pay-per-views. It was simply one champion acknowledging another, saying, "Yeah man, you deserve this, you are the real deal." Fans love seeing that side of the sport. It reminds everyone that behind all the chaos, these guys share a unique brotherhood. Rivals, they are also peers who know exactly what it takes to reach the top and stay there. Alright, now let's shift to another headline that has been buzzing and getting people talking. Ilia Topuria had quite the response to Dana White being unhappy about his face-off with Paddy Pimblett. If you somehow missed the drama, here is the quick version. After his big win, Ilia called Paddy into the cage for a heated in-your-face moment. You could feel the tension immediately. It was not a casual handshake or friendly challenge, it was intense. These two have a long history of trash talk and bad blood, so the energy was off the charts. But while fans loved it, Dana was not thrilled. When asked about the face-off at the post-fight press conference, Dana did not hold back. He said, "I don't know who the hell let him in there. That should have never happened. If I was there, it wouldn't have happened." Apparently, Dana was already back in his room when the face-off happened, so it slipped through security. You can imagine Dana watching it later, shaking his head, probably muttering curses under his breath. But if Dana was frustrated, Ilia did not care at all. He is still completely adamant that Paddy is the fight he wants next. He was asked directly in interviews if that is the fight he wants more than anything else, and without hesitation he said yes. No beating around the bush. That is the fight he wants. What is interesting is how honest Ilia was about his last opponent. He admitted he had a hard time fighting Charles Oliveira because he genuinely likes the guy. He described Charles as an amazing human being, someone you cannot hate even if you try. He said Charles is always surrounded by family, friends, and teammates. You could tell there was real respect there. Ilia explained that with Charles he just treated it like business. It was competition. He had to do his job and that was it. But with Paddy, Ilia did not even try to hide it. He made it crystal clear. He is going to enjoy kicking Paddy's ass. You could hear the grin in his voice as he said it. There is no love lost there. No hesitation, no apology. He was also called out on the fact that he previously said Paddy needed to win one more fight. First, why the change of heart? Ilia owned it. He said he was just really excited that night. He also admitted that someone on his team told him Dana was angry about the whole thing, but Ilia kind of shrugged it off and said yeah, but he wasn't there, so maybe it had to happen. The bottom line is Ilia does not seem too worried about ruffling feathers or making friends. He knows what he wants, and right now that is Paddy in the cage with nowhere to run. Meanwhile, in another moment that went viral at Charles Oliveira, fan posted footage of him and his friends watching UFC 317 and right before the finish the stream froze. This is one of those nightmare scenarios for fight fans. They are all hyped watching every move, then boom, stream cuts out. You hear the panic in their voices. "Oh no, 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 it is messing up my stream. Turn it off, dude, what the? Oh my god." There is genuine horror as they are fumbling for the remote trying to fix it. The room is chaos. Someone is screaming, "This is way too long, where's the remote? No, no, no." There is applause and cursing mixed together. It is actually hilarious in hindsight. Then when the fight is already over, they are left going, "What did we miss? What did we miss?" Honestly, you cannot help but feel for them even as you laugh. That is the worst moment for a stream to fail. They missed the KO. All they had was the crowd noise in the background. Unbelievable. Speaking of reactions, let's talk about Sean O'Malley and his live response to Ilia Topuria's devastating knockout of Charles Oliveira. O'Malley is never one to hold back, and this was no different. Remember, he actually called out Ilia after beating Chito Vera at UFC 299. But after seeing what Ilia did in the octagon at UFC 317, he was basically thankful that call-out did not go anywhere. His reaction was pure gold. You could hear it in his voice. Holy, was that a 232? Holy, thank God he didn't accept my call-out. Ilia is a superstar. Holy. You could tell he was genuinely shook. It was not just hype talk or playing it up for the camera. He was stunned at how quickly and violently Ilia ended things. Sean even admitted he was hoping the fight would have more sick scrambles. You know, those wild grappling exchanges that make MMA so fun to watch. But Ilia did not give anyone time for that. He just ended it fast. He landed a perfect right hand, knocked Charles out, and then the left hook made it even worse. What made this even better was Sean's honesty. It was refreshing to hear. You could hear the respect in his voice. There was no ego, no pretending he would have done better. He just admitted it was crazy. You do not often hear top-level fighters openly sounding so relieved that they dodged a matchup, but that is exactly what he sounded like. It really says a lot about how much Ilia's stock has exploded overnight. He went from a dangerous contender to a full-on superstar in the sport. But it was not just OMalley reacting to the chaos. Khamzat Chimaev also went live on Instagram after UFC 317. It was a quick 5-minute session, but it was enough to get fans hyped. He talked about his upcoming title fight with Dricus du Plessis at UFC 319. Of course, he could not ignore Ilia's wild knockout win over Oliveira either. The part that really caught everyone's attention was when a fan asked him directly about the DDP fight. Khamzat looked over at his team, gave that trademark grin, and said, "We are going to smash Dricus." Classic Khamzat. No games, no polite answers, just a direct warning to the champ. He's not coming to squeak out a decision. He's coming to dominate. That is exactly the kind of energy the UFC needs right now. With John Jones retiring and Alex Pereira losing to Magomed Ankalaev, there's a real vacuum at the top when it comes to bankable superstar-level fighters. Ilia's performance showed he might be ready to fill that gap. And Khamzat knows if he delivers against DDP, especially with an emphatic, brutal win, he could be the next global megastar. The UFC needs fresh blood at the top. They need big personalities who can sell out arenas and deliver unforgettable fights. UFC 319 could be the night Khamzat takes that next step and truly takes over. Khamzat's live session after UFC 317 was classic him, unfiltered, direct, and full of raw respect. He even took a moment to congratulate all Georgians on Ilia Topuria's massive victory. He said, "Congratulations to all Georgians for this great victory. You have a world champion in yet another weight class. A double champ. You guys made history today." You could really hear the sincerity in his voice. There was genuine respect there. He was not just hyping things up for the camera. He knows exactly what it takes to reach that level, and he was not afraid to show love for someone who did it in spectacular fashion. Khamzat did not stop there. He went on to call Ilia a monster and said he is a great guy. Then he dropped that line everyone has been repeating: unbelievable knockout. Ilia is a machine, Ilia Makina. He even gave it that little Islam Makhachev-style twist at the end, which was pretty cool to see. It is rare to watch top-level fighters show that kind of camaraderie and respect, especially considering they could end up facing each other down the line. These reactions from Khamzat to Sean O'Malley and so many others prove one thing. Ilia Topuria is now the guy everyone is watching. His knockout of Charles Oliveira was not just a win. It was a statement. The kind of statement that ripples through the entire division, forcing everyone to take notice and adjust their plans. The way he handled Oliveira, who is a legend in his own right, was downright scary. This was not just raw power. It was precision, timing, and composure under pressure. He did not rush it or get sloppy. He picked his shots and ended it brutally clean. You just do not see that very often at this.
If you enjoy our videos, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it.